to the issue of electronic voter identification and transmission shortly, but CORD has gone to court already, challenging the issue of awarding the contract to KPMG on auditing the voter register. That is part of what was agreed in the negotiating team, isn't it?
Yes.
Did CORD care to consult Jubilee before they do that? They did that? They just went ahead as well, isn't it?
No. There was an agreement that the voter register would be audited biometrically.
Yes.
That is provided for in the law.
Yes.
And what we've done was that the company that had been awarded this contract did not have the capacity, in our view,
to do it.
And secondly, we say that this award should have awaited the appointment of the new commissioners.
Okay.
Because as the way the IBC stands now,
yes,
really there is no commission, because the commission does not exist without commissioners who enjoy the security of tenure.
Right. Still back to my question. Did you care, because you're saying you thought you should go to court, it's not right. Did you care to consult Jubilee? Because you're saying it should have been inherent on this other issue.
Yes.
This was also born out of the negotiations. Did you care to consult them?
What I'm trying to say is this has nothing to do, we did not go back to Parliament to change the law.
You actually went to court.
We went to court. This is in terms of operating that law.
But it's still a law that you all agreed to.
But we have not changed the law. We have not changed the agreement.
You have interfered with the timeline.
We are only talking about the implementation.
Okay, but you have interfered with the timelines. I'll read that specific what was said. The IBC engages, the committee recommends as follows, that the IBC engages a professional reputable firm to conduct an audit of the register of voters for the purpose of verifying the accuracy of the register, updating the register, and recommending mechanisms to enhance accuracy of the register. The audit be completed not later than 30th November 2016. Clearly that is gone. The Commission submits the audit report to Parliament within 14 days of the receipt of the report, and the Commission implements the recommendations of the audit thereafter. Nowhere in this agreement, Honorable Raila Odinga, nowhere in this negotiated document was it said Company A or Company B should do this.
No.
And the way to do it should be A, B, C, D.
You see,
that should have been the work administratively of IEBC.
Correct.
And that is why I'm asking you, why didn't you care? This was an afterthought. After this you thought, this is not right. Why didn't you consult them as well?
Listen, we have actually raised a number of issues with Jubilee regarding this agreement. First, the appointment of the commissioners ought to have been fast-tracked. You remember when the law was passed by Parliament, it took the Speaker 2 weeks to forward the bill to the President for assent. When the President received the bill, he took his time, 2 weeks before he actually signed it. Then they said it will take another 2 weeks for it to become effective. After that, then they said that the members of the panel which were appointed could not start work until they were sworn by the Chief Justice, who was then not in office. And this is waited. These were not commissioners. These are just members of a panel who could have been sworn in by any commissioner of oath. So we were reading mischief all the times on the part of Jubilee in this regard. And that's the reason why we kept on pointing it out to them. The time is actually running out. So Jubilee itself was all the times in violation. You need to know that there's always been communication between ourselves and the Jubilee. Right. So when now... How have they been in violation in terms of, you're saying they are delaying the process? They're delaying the process because they are retaining the old discredited commissioners in office. So now... Those commissioners have continued to do work and do mischief. Because according to them, they are trying to punish CORD for having removed them from office. That you have evidence to, because I'll come to that. Certainly. Okay, I'll come to that. I'll leave this issue of KPMG because you are saying at the end of the day you did not consult Jubilee, just the way you're saying this should have been a negotiated thing about changing the laws. This was also a product of that, and you did not talk to them as well. But let's move to the practicability
of the electronic system. IBC have raised issues, and I'll also read something here, and this is general knowledge on biometrics and the use of any biometric gadgets. There could be failures and there could be problems. There's something they call false rejection, where a biometric system can incorrectly rejects a valid individual, and then false acceptance, the system incorrectly accepts an invalid individual. And then we also have failure to enroll, and that happens when, fingerprints, somebody may have a disease and it may not work, or somebody may have electronically registered. By the time he came to vote, maybe he had a disease, it didn't work, or because of their job or what they do, it didn't work. How do you suppose you take care of such people?
You see, in any system, there's always a margin of error. In any system, I'm talking to you now as an engineer. Okay? So, but that is always negligible in this particular regard. Now, when you talk about biometric data, it is a very involved thing. It's not just the fingerprint.
I'm talking about registration first.
Registration.
Yes.
There's a fingerprint.
Yes.
There's the iris.
It depends, yeah.
There's even
there's even the card or password.
And your even DNA.
Yes.
And so on and so forth. So what happened, because this is a system that is now being used universally in a number of countries, is that those are just like even the manual register. Sometimes people's names are never found, even in the manual register. And what happens in those cases? They never register, they never vote. This is what has happened, even in the manual register. So there is no reason why you're making exceptions with regard to BVR. And here, countries have used this system very successfully.
With a backup.
Nigeria registered 73.5 million voters through this system, and they used this system. Ghana, 11 million voters. They just had the elections a week ago. India, the other time, 863 million people in India, and they all voted successfully through this system that we are talking about.
But all those nations had a backup system.
What we are talking about is that they use the BVR is the primary source of identification,
which is electronic. So what is the problem then? What is the problem? Because what the amendment says is, in the event of failure, and you have said yourself, any system can have failures.
Even manual.
Exactly.
Even manual.
Exactly. So what is the problem of having electronic and manual in case this system fails?
What is going to happen here, what these people want, is they don't want electronic voter identification. They want manual voter identification because of the mischief. And that is what we are completely aware of. This is what they have been doing. Last time, Hussein, they introduced 2 million votes illegally, and we have proof to this, that who voted for the president alone, they did not vote for anybody else. So this is what we are trying to do.
Did you submit the same proof to the Supreme Court?
Yes, the evidence is there. The document that was submitted by the IEBC to the Supreme Court, that document, we took it to experts in England. It was analyzed. So and we have actually published those results.
But are you saying then,
and they show that,
because you accepted the results then, are you saying now you don't accept the results of the Supreme Court?
No, remember the Supreme Court,
the ruling.
The Supreme Court rejected our evidence. They said it was filed out of time.
Fine.
960 pages of evidence.
Right.
But after that, we did a sober analysis, and we established, and we have actually published results.
Yes. As the opposition.
Yes.
And with due respect to the data you have, and as the opposition, but we are supposed to take the result or the ruling of the court at the end of the day, isn't it?
The court
whether it was filed out of time or not, we are supposed to take the result of the court.
What the court did, remember what we said. We said we don't agree, but we respect. That is what we said at that time.
Right.
And what happened at that time, Hussein, if you just want to jog your memory, is that we filed first we needed access to the records of IBC for us to be able to prosecute our case. The IBC refused to give us access to the document until we went to court and got a court order. Even still, Isaac Hassan refused to respect that court order.
Okay.
Finally, the executive officer allowed us. When we compiled that evidence and then finally submitted it to court, then the Jubilee lawyers came to court and said this evidence was filed out of time.
Okay.
So it was not that it was no merit, no material.
But the court agreed with the Jubilee.
It was just technically.
Technically, the court, technically the court agreed with the Jubilee lawyers.
And you know that ruling has been condemned universally.
That's fine, but technically the court agreed with the technicality of the Jubilees that what they raised at the end of the day.
But the evidence...
And that's why I'm saying, with due respect to what you have, at the end of the day, Kenyans had to follow, just like you, the ruling of the Supreme Court.
That's we respected, right. and we say we move on. But I'm just saying, after that, we did a proper analysis through experts, and it showed that 10 million people voted for all the other categories, for the MCAs, for the MPs, for the women rep, for the senator, governor, but 12 million voted for the president. In other words, there are 2 million people who went to the polling station and only voted for the president and voted for nobody else. And
again, with due respect to that, that is what the opposition came up with. But my question to you again, the Communication Authority of Kenya has said very clearly 60% of this country is not covered by 3G network. About 100 or between 100 and 1,000 sub-locations do not have network at all. I think 164 do not have any network at all. How do you suppose this is going to happen? What is going to happen to these people?
You see, the BVR and EVID, this is electronic voter identification device, does not need the 3Gs and all these things.
Electronic transmission of results.
Oh, you're talking about...
Yes.
You can use VSAT to do the transmission. You don't need to have the 3G, 2G or 4G network coverage at all. That has been done before. There's no reason why that cannot happen. Recently, Mosiro, down here in Kajiado, we had a by-election. There was no network, no Safaricom network or even
Airtel or any other mobile operator.
But they were able to access the same thing in Turkana. And Tana River.
Right. So my question, Honorable Raila Odinga, if you say these systems can fail, it's election time. We have several counties and constituencies, and the systems fail. What should happen?
I'm saying it's not a question of the system failing. If the system cannot fail.
You say any system can fail.
Because I'm telling you about voter identification.
Even that can fail. And it has failed before.
No, it was made to fail last time.
But it can fail. It can fail. And you've said yourself, any biometric system can fail.
I'm saying that, I did not say that it can fail. Please get me right. I say that no system is foolproof.
Exactly.
But let me just tell you, make this point, that here we are talking about biometric voter identification.
Yes.
Which does not need the transmission. This is, people are being identified there. You only need batteries. In any case, the Vice President yesterday told you here that they've connected 5.5 million homes. They've connected all primary schools to electricity.
Right.
So why should there be any problem at all? Batteries are just then a backup in this particular situation. So, but if it works in places like Nigeria, it works in Ghana, it works in the remote villages in India, why should it be a problem in Kenya?
But Honorable Odinga, just to move away from this, are you saying we cannot have emergencies, we cannot have power outages, we cannot have weather changes that can affect even electricity? I mean, are you saying this system cannot fail at all? Because my question to you is, if it fails, if, the word is if.
If it fails, it is stopped until the power is back.
If it's a power problem.
You stop it. until, if the equipment has failed, stop it until there's a replacement or it is rectified. This is what's happened, is done elsewhere.
So I mean, regardless of the number of areas where things will fail, what you'd say is stop the election until they work again?
And that's what it's done. Remember, the other time in Ghana, they stopped it for a day.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll leave it at that.
Yeah.
Still on IBC, and you said it again here, I told you we'll come back to that shortly. Several times you have alleged a plot to rig the election by IBC and Jubilee. In an interview about 3 months ago with us again, you said commissioners have a deal with President Kenyatta. You said it again when KPMG was contracted to do the audit of the voter register. First, when you make such statements or such remarks, what evidence do you have when you say that? Because the issue is, have you substantiated what you're saying, or do you just say it?
No, Hussein, I am usually a very careful person. I don't speak without first verifying what I want to say. I'm not one of those people who think after I've said something. I think before I say something.
Okay.
I made a statement just saying that IEBC has been going to State House to meet with the President. They've never seen it necessary to come and meet with us. And when at the time they agreed, the chairman refused to come with the other commissioners. And then the other times when we were asking for appointment to go and see them, each time they were having excuses here and there. And we were saying that IEBC is supposed to be the umpire. It must be neutral.
Okay.
In this matters. They must see the executive as much as they also see us as the opposition.
So does that, okay.
With regard to the KPMG,
yes,
what we have said, we have done analysis and we have not seen them doing a similar exercise elsewhere. And yet there are companies, according to that tender, which had applied, which had experience.
But whose job is it to determine? Whose job is it to determine which company can do the job?
What we are trying to say is that it should be done by a commission. And as we are talking right now, there is no commission. Because the commissioners have not been appointed.
You're taking us back. That you did not say. That was not agreed upon in that negotiated agreement.
It is not a question of agreeing upon.
But it wasn't. It wasn't. You're saying for the audit to take place. You're saying for the audit to take place, there must be a commission, a new commission.
That is taken for granted.
Why would you want to take this? Is politics. These are negotiations with people you say you don't trust. Why would you take things for granted?
I'm just saying it's not a question of taking things for granted. It is the commission must be a commission. That's when the commission is working. You cannot have technocrats sitting there and then you say that's a commission. The commission is called Independent Electoral and Boundaries Commission. That means that there are commissioners who enjoy security of tenure. That's why it's called independent.
Okay.
See,
so my question...
No, these people don't have that kind of independence.
Fine. You're saying a commission must be there. KPMG have not begun the audit. You stopped them before they began the audit. You say a commission should be there for them to do the audit.
To appoint them.
To appoint who?
That's KPMG.
That is not the work of the commission.
It's not the work of the commission.
But the secretariat, this is the administration. They have asked for a tender. It has been reviewed. I mean, people have tendered and they've chosen KPMG.
The way most of these legal entities work, the executive will do the tenders, the executive work and so on, and then it will process and brought to the board. And it's the board that will do the appointment. In this particular case, there is no board.
But
there is no commission.
It is not the commission, Honorable Odinga, unless I'm ignorant on matters of tendering. It is not the commission that sits and decides who gets the tender. It is the secretariat.
No.
You're saying KPMG's audit should stop because the commission is not in place. It has not begun. So your problem actually is how the tendering was done.
Hussein, there must be a commission functioning properly. And for a commission to function properly, there must be commissioners and the chairman of the commission, so that the executive will do the administrative work of advertising and shortlisting, and then it's brought before the commission. Then this commission he shall then appoint.
But you agree that the work of the tendering is not the work of the Commission?
No,
that is not the work of the Commission?
No, that is the work of the executive, but the work of final award appointment is done by the board.
I'll leave it at that. Again, it's something that is, you can argue with it either way, but the work of the tendering, and you agree, is the work of the Secretariat. But you haven't answered my question.